Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
It is a perfect day for baseball here in the Motor City and a perfect day to celebrate a Sunday Kids Day here at the ballpark. Tigers trying to get things turned around on a gorgeous afternoon here in Detroit. Fourth and final game in this series featuring the visiting Cleveland Indians and your Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Ron Allen, glad to have you with us. The Tigers trying to snap a 4-game losing streak right in here. The Indians come to town. They played some pretty good baseball the first 3 games.
Well, one of the things we knew about the Tigers based on what happened the first half of the season, it's a very streaky team, but I didn't see this coming. They played outstanding baseball up until the break, but the Cleveland Indians, a team that does not win a lot of games on the road, have come in here and played some pretty good baseball. Tigers need to salvage one.
Now, hopefully they'll do that today, and if they do that, more than likely Austin Jackson will have his say. It's good to see him finally starting to come around. Always had the glove, but now the bat's starting to perk up.
You know, I love what Brad Ausmus did with Austin Jackson. They were trying to figure out a way to get him comfortable. He wasn't comfortable batting 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th, so he finally put him back in that leadoff spot right around the beginning of July, and Austin Jackson's really taken off. He's hitting about .333 in the month of July. He's really showed up in this series against the Cleveland Indians. He's been on base a lot. He's gotten a lot of hits. But because the Indians pitching has been able to slow down J.D. Martinez and Victor Martinez, Austin Jackson not touching home plate as frequently as he did before the break. They need to keep him going. They need to keep him in that leadoff spot. I love his energy. I like this team when he's leading off. I think they're a much better squad.
All right, after a short break, we'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios. Check in with Lindsey Hayes. Coming up today, the Tigers need a win. Drew Smiley is on the mound looking for his 6th victory of the season. Tigers and Tribesmen coming up next. Tigers and the Indians wrap up this 4-game series. The Indians have won the first 3, and the Tigers today will throw left-hander Drew Smyly on the mound, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Hey, Smyly has been outstanding this entire year against left-handed batters. Therefore, Terry Francona does not have that many lefters in his lineup, but Smyly should have success today against the Tribe.
Here is the starting lineup that he will face here this afternoon, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Kipnis, Cabrera, Brantley in your top 3 spots. Carlos Santana playing first base. Ryan Rayburn is in left, followed by Nick Swisher DHing. Yan Gomes has had a big series. He's followed by Murphy and Mike Gavilas. So on a warm, humid day here this afternoon, the Tigers and the Cleveland Indians wrap up this series. Jason Kipnis steps in, which brings us to our Bernstein advantage right off the top tonight. And that Bernstein advantage belongs to Drew Smyly. Kipnis is 0 for 10 against him with 6 strikeouts. So not a good matchup for Kipnis. Smyly is set to go to work. And here's the first pitch of today's ball game. It's a strike call. Kipnis with 6 RBIs in the series, couple of home runs. Smyly ready with the 0-1. And Kipnis looks at a ball down low. A doubleheader sweep last night for the Indians. The Tigers now have lost 4 consecutive ball games. Their lead over Cleveland, 4.5. The Indians moving into second place in the Central. It's a ball missing inside. Fastball that time from Smyly.
It's no coincidence that the Tribe have taken the first 3 games of the series as Kipnis has gotten on base and driven in a lot of runs. He's the glue to their team. They've got some other really good players, but as he goes, so does their squad.
Bouncing ball to short, a couple of steps to his right. Romine has it, and 1 gone.
You know, Romine is playing shortstop this afternoon. Suarez, at least for the beginning of this contest, is off. J.D. Martinez in the outfield with Jackson and Hunter. Castellanos, Kinsler, Vmart in the infield. Alex Avila is the catcher. And, of course, that Tigers defense is brought to you by Beaumont Health System.
Here is Asdrubal Cabrera. He'll stand in with 1 out. 2 out of 10 in the series. Cabrera homered in game 1 and has a couple of RBIs. Swing and a miss, 0-1 on Cabrera. Asdrubal has hit safely in all 3 in this series. This will be game 4. The Tigers looking for at least a win before they head out to the West Coast. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss again, 0-2. Smyly quickly gets ahead of Asdrubal Cabrera. Drew in search of his 6th victory of the season here today, making start number 16. And the 0-2. Just got a piece of that one to stay alive. Cabrera this year with 9 home runs. He's knocked in 39. The average, though, sub 250. Checks in at 249 here today. Smyly again with the 0-2 pitch. And it's popped up. Shallow right field. Torrey Hunter coming in. And Cabrera's retired. 2 gone. So a good start for Drew Smyly. 2 up, 2 down. Now a guy who has been a very difficult out in this series and really all season long versus Tigers pitching. Michael Brantley strolls in.
You can even take that a step further. Michael Brantley's been an outstanding hitter in his big league career against Tigers pitching.
7 out of 14 in this series. He has scored 3 runs, batting .329. And he loops one in the air toward left field, sinking, but caught on the run by J.D. Martinez. 1-2-3 inning for Drew Smyly. Swings. Austin Jackson will be starting things off for Detroit. The Tigers starting lineup, it looks like this. It'll be presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Jackson, Kinsler, and Cabrera, your top three. Victor Martinez, followed by J.D. Martinez and Torrey Hunter. And then a bottom three of Castellanos, Avila, and Andrew Romine. And they are facing the right-handed offerings of Josh Tomlin.
And Tomlin comes in with 5 wins and 6 losses. He's got a fastball that will top out at 92. Most of his fastballs are cutters. He kind of uses that as a slider as well. He also mixes in a few curveballs and changeups, mostly curveballs and left to the left-handers along with the changeup.
So after a 1-2-3 top of the first, here come the Tigers. Now Tomlin goes to work. Jackson, good series, 4 for 11 so far. Tomlin's first pitch is fouled back out of play. No balls, 1 strike. Austin now batting .260. That average continues to climb. He has multiple hit games in 7 of his last 8. And that's a quick way to raise that average. Has settled back into that leadoff slot for Detroit. And there's a ball high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Terry Francona had a chance to set his rotation before the series started, obviously, and he went with 3 power right-handed pitchers, and they pretty much have slowed down the Tigers' bats as a whole. I think that's what a lot of teams think they could do against the Tigers, is throw right-handers that have really good fastballs to slow them down.
Well, the middle of the Tigers lineup has really struggled. In fact, in the doubleheader last night, not a whole lot of production as that ball is fouled into the glove.
It was Bauer a couple of days ago. Then in yesterday's contest, it was Kluber and McAllister, a couple of big, strong, physical guys with good fastballs. And for the most part, they just stayed away all day, away from the Tigers with good fastballs.
There's Bauer. He's got really good stuff and a great future. The 2-2 is hammered back out of play. In the doubleheader yesterday, the Tigers 3, 4, and 5 hitters were a combined 4 for 24. And as a result, they really couldn't get a whole lot going against Cleveland and lost the doubleheader. 2-2 the count. And Jackson hammers one down the left field line. Fair ball. This will go all the way to the wall, and Ajax has another extra base hit. It's going to be a double. Leadoff 2-base hit for Austin Jackson.
Jackson has such a great approach going right now. He's looking to drive the ball the opposite way, but it's a 2-seam fastball that's down, and all he does is drop the barrel of the bat right in the hitting zone and gets on base with a leadoff double. Jackson right now batting in that leadoff spot, not necessarily thinking about the leg kick, not thinking about the toe tap, just simply seeing the baseball and putting it in play with some real nice authority.
Early scoring opportunity for Detroit. A leadoff 2-base hit. Here is Ian Kinsler. This would be a good time to bust out of his mini slump. 0 for 12 in the series. And he shoots one just foul outside of the bag.
The game is all about momentum, and the Tigers here can take that momentum in the very first inning.
Kinsler at 294. He's hit 11 home runs, knocked in 52 this year. They've been given a little bit of life early on here with the leadoff double. Tomlin with the 0-1, bouncing ball left side, base hit. Jackson had to watch it through. They're going to send him home. Rayburn's throw, not in time. Kinsler takes second base, and the Tigers lead 1-0.
Very unusual for Dave Clark, the third base coach, to send Jackson home, especially after Jackson had to wait just a moment before that ball got through the infield. Rayburn in left field also has a really good throwing arm, but Austin Jackson did not slow down. He was able to come home, and take a look at how he gets the plate. He just reaches down with the left hand and swipes over the bag, the plate, when he gets there.
Very aggressive move by Dave Clark, and it pays off. The Tigers now have a man at second and a run in. Jackson wiggles around the tag. And Miguel Cabrera looks at a strike.
Miggy will be trying to drive something the opposite way in this particular situation, which is not difficult for Miggy to do. And you've got a runner on second. You've got nobody out. His job, as he knows, is to at least get Ian Kinsler to third base. And many times Miggy been able to drive that run in.
A couple of doubles in the series for Miguel Cabrera. Kinsler, by the way, just broke an 0 for 16 skid with that single. Takes second on the throw home. So Cabrera now trying to add to his RBI total. Currently leads the league. 75 driven in for Miguel.
And Tomlin had a start this year against the Tigers on June 22nd, and they beat him up pretty bad. He gave up 8 hits in that game, only lasted 4 innings. 5 of the 8 runs that he gave up were earned runs. We've also well documented that this Cleveland Indians team defensively has not played well this year.
Tomlin is 29 years old, born in Tyler, Texas. Here's the 0-2. Driven back out of play. Glorious afternoon for baseball here in the Motor City. Packed house. Tigers wrapping up this series.
Craig Monroe was talking about this exact situation in the pregame show today. Runner on second, nobody out. How you have to create the proper bat angle to drive that ball the opposite way. And every swing Miggy has taken is one that indicates he's trying to drive the ball through that huge hole on the right side of the infield, with Kipnis holding on Ian Kinsler.
Tomlin again ready with the 0-2. And he missed it outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Miguel.
And the flip side of that is the pitcher out on the mound, he knows exactly what you're trying to do too, and he's trying to prevent you from doing it. There's that huge hole on that side of the infield for Miguel Cabrera. He's already gotten about 3 hits right through that hole in this series.
Been a big series for Miguel. 6 for 12. And the 1-2. Driven to center field. Hit well. Brantley will have room, though. Kinsler will tag up. He's coming to third base. Brantley's throw off target. Fly ball moves him up. 1 gone.
For you kids at home, that is about the only time that you can airmail the cutoff man, as Michael Brantley did right there. When you don't have to worry about another base runner advancing 90 feet by you, throwing that ball that high in the air.
So the infield will come in now for the Indians. He'll try and cut down a run here as Victor Martinez stands in. A couple of hits in the series for Victor. They've handled him for the most part, though. 2 for 12.
And Victor missed a couple of weeks with that sore side muscle, and he's been leaving the strike zone a little bit more often in the 3 days that we've seen him do all year. He's been swinging at a lot of fastballs that are up in the strike zone and that are balls.
Slapped back out of play. 0-1. Martinez at 322 right now. He's hit 21 home runs this year. Less than 2 outs with a man at third. He gets it done 63% of the time, which is well above the major league average. He's got Kinsler at third base right now with 1 out. Tigers lead 1-0 on the RBI single by Kinsler. Here's the 0-1. Driven to right field. On the move is Murphy. He'll make the catch. Kinsler tagging. And the throw is late. Sac fly RBI for Victor Martinez.
It's a nice job by Miguel Cabrera getting Kinsler to third base, and an excellent job by Victor lofting something deep enough to get him in. While we have a second, let's set the starting defensive alignment for the Cleveland Indians this afternoon. They've got Rayburn in left field. They've got the red-hot Michael Brantley. He is in center field. Murphy's in right. Aviles, Cabrera, Kipnis, Santana round out the infield, and Yan Gomes is the catcher. 10 starts this season for Ryan Rayburn, the former Tiger, in left field.
J.D. Martinez looks at ball 1.
slow series for J.D. Martinez. They've given him a lot of fastballs outside, and then once they've gotten ahead of him, they've thrown him a lot of breaking balls down.
Tomlin now able to pitch from the windup with the bases finally empty. And J.D. looks at a ball outside, 2-0. Well, this is how hot Martinez was in the month of July. He is 1 for 12 in this series and still batting .373 this month. He was well over 400. Tomlin kicks home the 2-0.
Really, for the first time in J.D. Martinez's career, he simply does not have to look at the lineup card every single day. Regardless of what he had done the night before, he knows that he's going to be in the starting lineup, and more than likely he's going to be batting fifth.
Here's the 2-1. Inside, 3 balls and 1 strike.
Tomlin not afraid to do that. He will crowd some of the right-handers this afternoon with good fastballs inside at about 91 miles an hour.
Swing and a miss, and the count fills now 3-2 on J.D. Martinez.
It's a cut fastball there by Tomlin. It's a pitch that you're seeing a lot of guys throw these days. It acts like a slider. Fastball coming out of the hand, and because of the grip on the baseball, it's got a lot of slider action to it.
The first couple of months of the year, Brad Ausmus was searching for someone to fit that 5 spot in the lineup, whether it was Hunter, whether it was Jackson, and now, as you mentioned, it's nice to be able to put JD's name in there, and your lineup has a little sense of normalcy every single day.
Well, it's starting to look like Victor Martinez was going to lead the league in intentional base on balls.
And slicing foul.
But with the emergence of J.D. Martinez, Victor's been stuck on 13 intentional free passes for quite some time now.
Victor getting it done in this inning with a sacrifice fly, and the other run coming in on the Ian Kinsler RBI single. And he got him, strike 3. J.D. thought he had a walk, but he's punched out of there by Mike Carlson. 1 in the books. It's 2-0 Detroit. Detroit and the community since 1849. By Dodge. Hurry in and get a great deal during the Dodge Summer Clearance Event. And by Stacy's Pita Chips, Crisps, and Bagel Chips. That's the Stacy's way, and we're not messing with it. Back here in the Motor City, what a great day here in downtown Detroit as the Tigers and the Indians wrap up this 4-game series. And the Tigers out to a 2-0 lead early in this one as Bruce Smiley goes back to the hill after a 1-2-3 first inning. Carlos Santana looks at a strike on the outer edge. Santana batting .206, had the key blow in the ball game last night, the back end of the doubleheader. 3-run double turned out to be the game winner. The 0-1 is in for a strike. 0-2. Santana, Rayburn, Swisher here in the top of number 2 for the Indians. 40 RBIs now for Santana. And he looks at a ball outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Smiley beat KC in his last outing. That was on July the 10th, so it's been a while since he has pitched. Likewise, Tomlin, each with 10 days rest after the All-Star break. 2-2 the count. Drew went 6 2/3 in that game, gave up 4 runs. It was his 5th victory of the season. Rayburn waiting on deck, limbering up. That'll bounce in now, so from 0-2 we go to 3-2. And he walked him. Well, that's got to really gnaw at Jeff Jones and even Drew Smiley. He had him 0-2 in the count, ends up walking the leadoff man. Santana's just walked for the 67th time, which is the most in the major leagues. He's got more walks than hits.
Does he really?
These are the AL numbers, but Santana has more than anybody in baseball.
That's why his on-base percentage is not bad. I mean, the batting average is in the low 200s, but because of all the base on balls, the on-base percentage not bad for Santana.
Ryan Rayburn looks at a strike. Rayburn at 203.
Out of all the guys on their current roster, for me, and I know Michael Brantley's having a sensational year, Santana appears to be, for me, the guy that has the most upside. I mean, with that power and the plate discipline, no reason why he cannot be a really good performer in this league.
Well, he's had to deal with shuffling around in many different positions, catching, third base, now first base. Don't know if that's had any effect on Santana this year, but certainly has a lot of power, can drive in runs.
He's got real power from both sides.
1 ball, 1 strike on Rayburn. Swing and a miss.
And every now and then Santana will run into one like he did last night when he got himself in a fastball friendly count against Joe Nathan and nearly hit it out of the ballpark. He cleared the bases with this double. Tigers have given up 20 runs in the series, and 15 of the 20 runs have come 7th inning or later. 15 of the 20.
Well, that has been a certain area in which the Tigers have to be a little bit concerned with, especially when you get deep into the season, August and September, and takes on added meaning as you're fighting for a playoff spot. Here's a swing and a miss. Rayburn goes down. And it's certainly an area the Tigers will have to address.
It's a big swing here by Ryan Rayburn with 2 strikes. He didn't shorten up, no 2-strike approach whatsoever, and Smiley able to throw this fastball right by him. A lot of aggression in that swing by the former Tiger.
Here is Swisher now with 1 out. Swisher has hit safely in his last 4. He's knocked in 4 in this series. A couple of doubles to his credit as well. Ball 1 high from Smiley.
Swisher's approach in this series has been better, and really his approach the last 10 days has been pretty good for the Tribe. He's driving a lot of balls right back through the center of the diamond. As a matter of fact, he's hit a couple of balls over the head of Jackson in center field.
Two balls and no strikes on Swisher.
No matter how he's playing, he always has a smile on his face, and he's always having a lot of fun. And Nick Swisher.
Here's the 2-0 pitch, and it's swung on and missed. 2-1 on Swisher. Spent 4 years with the Yankees before coming to the Cleveland Indians. Played his college ball in Ohio at Ohio State. Now the 2-1 instead. He'll go back to first base. Well, they're going to need him to heat up in July as well. 293. Kipnis has been hitting a lot better, and Swisher nearly 300 this month. But a lot of batting averages in their lineup in the low 200s. Nice smother there by the catcher Alex Avila. Smiley falls behind again. Now 3-1 on Swisher. Santana let it off with a walk. He's standing at first now with 1 out. Tigers got a pair in the bottom of the first inning. Swisher sends a ground ball to short. Double play written all over it. 6-4-3, and the Indians are done in the second. Smiley gets the double play. Pitcher's best friend. As we go to the bottom of the second, our predictions for today's Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by the new triple cheeseburger for just $2. I'm going to go with the starter today, Drew Smiley.
I've got Victor Martinez this afternoon.
John Keating is going to roll with Miguel Cabrera. Those are our selections for Tigers player of the game today. Torrey Hunter will start things off for the Tigers, facing Josh Tomlin, who allowed a single, a double, a sac fly, a couple of runs in that first inning. And is in there for a strike. 0-1 on Torrey. Hunter batting .274, 3 out of 8 in the series. 2 of those hits for extra bases, doubles. The 0-1 pitch. Strike call on the outside corner. Mark Carlson goes up with the right hand. The count is 0-2.
Torrey Hunter did not have a very good June, but he's been outstanding in the month of July. As JD Martinez has gotten more reps, that means Torrey Hunter's legs have been able to stay fresh.
He got carved up there by Tomlin, 1 gone.
And because of that, his numbers have gone up, and I think Torrey's numbers are going to continue to get better the remainder of the season because of the rotating outfield.
Second consecutive strikeout now for the right-hander Tomlin. Torrey turned 39 a couple of days ago.
29.
Oh, that's right. He's telling everybody it's 29. Here's Castellanos. Nick at .262 entering play today.
Usually it's the ladies that stay on that magical number of 29.
Well, you know, when you reach your late 30s and 40s, a lot of the guys will turn back the clock as well, or at least attempt to. 2-0 on Nick. Torrey's in such great shape and enjoys the game so much that you would actually believe him when he says he's 29.
He runs a lot. Runs more than any position player I've seen in a long time, and when you start to get a little older, you have to make sure your legs stay in shape. Out of Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
Got to go back to 1993 when he was selected in the draft, first round pick of the Twins. Swing and a miss by Castellanos, 2-2.
Tomlin's got that real nice cut fastball working right now, and he takes a little off of it from time to time, and when he does take a little bit off of it, it acts a lot like a really good slider with a lot of depth.
That is hooked foul just outside the line. Castellanos this year with 22 two-base hits. He's got Alex Avila waiting on deck. Tigers today trying to snap a 4-game losing streak. They lost their final game in KC before the break, and now looking for their first win of the second half of the season. Full count, 3-2. Bouncing ball to third. That'll stay in play right at Mike Aviles, who throws him out. 2 up, 2 down for the Tigers in the second. Well, see the Tigers take on the White Sox July 29th and 30th and take advantage of the summer fun pack. Upper level ticket, hot dog, Pepsi, chips, and a Tigers t-shirt for one low price. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com/summerfun. Trying to feel like summer, at least today. It was chilly and rainy for game 1 of the doubleheader yesterday, but cleared out nicely for the nightcap.
About 5 hours from now, it's really going to feel like summer.
Now the really warm weather is coming in, and we are headed to, we had about 115 degrees.
Yep.
In Phoenix.
That's right. It's a dry heat, though.
Here's Alex Avila. So is sticking your head in the oven. That's pretty dry, too. That's kind of what it feels like. 0-1. Avila batting .233, couple of hits in the series, 2 for 6. Tomlin in search of the 1-2-3 inning. Pulled on the ground to the right side. They had him shifted to the outfield grass. Kipnis makes the long throw. And it's a 1-2-3 second. Tigers baseball today presented by Bell Tire. Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Arby's. Try Arby's new King's Hawaiian Roast Beef BLT today. And by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Kids Day here at the ballpark. The Tigers and Indians wrapping up this series. And Rod, did you know we have a very special birthday today? Mr. Illich celebrating a birthday at the ballpark today.
Well, happy birthday, Mr. I.
Getting himself a nice round of applause here, deservedly so. One of the great owners in all of sports, Mr. Illich, celebrating a birthday at Comerica.
The entire crowd got up and sung happy birthday to him while we were in the break as well. So
pretty cool.
Absolutely. You know, he's surrounded by family, the grandkids, the kids today. So special day for Mr. I. The only thing that would cap it off is a victory here today by his baseball team.
Well, here is Yan Gomes to start things off as we go to the third. Gomes, Murphy, Aviles facing Smiley. Drew got himself a double play last half inning, and he looks at a strike. 0-1 on Yan Gomes. 4-game hit streak now for the Indians catcher. He has scored 3 runs in the series. Make it 0-2 on Gomes. Tried to get him to chase. An elevated pitch missing high, 1-2. Smiley had a 1-2-3 first, gave up a walk, but then got a double play in the second. And the 1-2. Bouncing ball to short. Romine in a couple of steps. Gomes is out, 1 away. We go back to the studio for a game break now. We check in with Lindsey Hayes. All right, Lindsey, thanks. Here the Tigers got a couple of runs in the first inning and lead 2-0. David Murphy looks at a strike. Lefties coming into this game batting just 157 versus Drew Smiley. Murphy's had a couple of RBIs in the series. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Smiley already doing a very nice job through the first 8 hitters. He is 7 of 8 in first pitch strikes, which bodes well for him. It allows him to extend the breaking ball on the outside against the left-handers.
Have to get back out of play, 1-2.
Also move the ball around against the right-handers as well.
Murphy leads the American League with a .380 batting average with runners in scoring position. He'll flail at that one and go down on strikes. 2 outs.
Here's what I'm talking about. When Smiley's able to get ahead of the left-handers, he can simply expand the strike zone and get them in chase mode, as Murphy does there, chasing that breaking ball down, which Avila was able to go down and smother.
Phantom Cam with a look at Smiley's delivery.
Nice and free and easy and very slow.
Mike Aviles looks at a ball high. Isn't that the whole point of Phantom Cam?
Correct.
And to be very slow. Aviles at 267. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Phantom Cam has to be one of the best teaching tools out there if you're a big league pitcher or player. And to see your swing broken down in frames like that can only help you, especially when you're going through a tough stretch. You can see exactly what you're doing wrong.
I think it's one thing for somebody to tell you, like a coach, what you're doing wrong, but to actually see it and visualize it is such a tremendous tool. That'll get fouled. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Mike Aviles. Batting with 2 outs here in the third. Aviles getting a chance to play third base today in place of Lonnie Chisenhall. And the 2-2. Again, back into the seats. Here's Kipnis waiting on deck. Little pop-up left side of the infield. Romine to the grass. 1, 2, 3 for Drew Smyly. And a great day for ball here at Comerica Park. And today's broadcast, by the way, is on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces serving in 175 countries and also aboard ships at sea. They're watching around the world in Iraq, Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, and Japan. Welcome to you all. And thank you for your service. So here come the Tigers now facing Tomlin as we go to the bottom of the third. First pitch in for a strike on Andrew Romine. Romine getting the call at short today. He'll be followed by Jackson and then Kinsler. Here's Tomlin's 0-1. Romine at 217 had not started a game since July the 12th when he played in Kansas City right before the break. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And it's a strike on the outer edge. Romine had an opportunity, at least, was getting a lot of the reps, and they decided they wanted to go with Romine over Danny Worth. And then Suarez was called up because he was performing so well in the minor leagues, and since the call up of Suarez, Romine has taken a back seat. 1-2 the count on Romine. Low 2-2.
You've got to love the way that Andrew goes about his business, though. He's at the ballpark early every single day, stays late every single day, does not complain about the lack of playing time, just simply goes out and does and controls what he can control.
Down he goes as he swings and misses.
Let's take a look at how the Tigers scored their very first 2 runs in the first inning. Jackson, as we've well documented, the month of July, his batting average has perked up as he's been in that leadoff spot. He doubles. Kinsler gets a base hit, which plates Jackson. Miggy does his job, getting Kinsler over to third base with fewer than 2 outs, and then Victor Martinez with a sac fly. So they've kind of manufactured a couple of runs to take the lead here on Sunday afternoon.
Jackson with 1 out. 262 batting average now for Jackson. We've often talked about how the Tigers offense is at its best when Jackson is getting on base.
Over 400 runs scored for the Tigers leadoff hitter since the beginning of the 2010 season. No one in baseball has scored more.
Pretty sizable lead over Michael Bourne, who is second on that list. Big swing there, 2-1.
The Indians, they just can't keep their center fielder healthy.
No. Michael Bourne on the DL again with hamstring issues which have plagued him. Well, it'll be difficult when the guy at the top of your lineup who gets things going is either unable to perform or not performing well. 3-1.
And Jackson finds himself with another fastball friendly count here.
Tomlin with the 3-1. And he walked him. Jackson aboard for the second time. By the way, just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, and it's brought to you by Miller Lite. 1-on-1 out. Good to see Kinsler come up with a big hit. That was back in the first inning. Has snapped an 0 for 16. And it produced his 53rd RBI of the year. Eight steals this year for Jackson. Of course, the Tiger team leader is Rajai Davis with 24. Kinsler also in double digits with 10, and then Jackson. Tigers already this year 63 stolen bases. Has fouled at home plate. 0-1 on Kinsler. He has been a really good two-way player for the Tigers. Only 2 errors committed all season long. The one play, Rod, now that you touched on this a couple of days ago, that really he seems to excel at is that ball hit back up the middle, that backhanded play that he makes.
No doubt, because he takes very little time after he gets the ball in the glove with the exchange to the throwing hand while turning the body back toward first base, and he's able to get enough on his throw to get most guys out. I made mention of the fact yesterday the only other second baseman that I've watched make that play better than Ian, and it's only because of his arm strength, is Robinson Cano.
Well, you see a player from afar when he plays for another team. You might see him a handful of times every season, but when you see a guy play every day like we have now with Kinsler, he seems to bring a lot of intangibles to the game. As Tomlin misses outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. And I guess with Kinsler, by intangibles, I mean his grittiness. I mean, he comes ready to play literally every day.
He brings that lunch pail with him. Comes to beat you, too.
One ball, 1 strike. Runner goes in the air on a line to right field. Murphy on the charge. Jackson is going to get doubled up at first base. And that'll end the inning. Tigers get a walk. Nobody left. 3 in the books. And photo for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast, brought to you by AT&T. Detroit Fan Photo is the hashtag. How fast is that young man throwing? He's got a sore elbow already. Oops. Just a little bit wide on that last one. Got to work on his form, but otherwise pretty good.
He's getting plenty of high fives, though.
Smiley goes back to the hill now as we go to the fourth inning. Drew has been really good in first pitch strikes. And there's another one. He is now 8 of 10. Kipnis leading it off. Bounce again, 1 ball, 1 strike.
The Tribe trying to do something here at Comerica Park they've never done before, and that's sweep a 4-game series. They've done it in Cleveland. They did it last in 2010, but never in Detroit have they swept the Tigers in a 4-game series.
The records on that go back to 1914, 100 years. That's something that's not been accomplished by the Indians. They're trying to do it here, though. There's a bouncer to second base. And gobbled up there by Kinsler. Kipnis now is 0 for 2, and his struggles versus Smiley continue. Drew's got him to ground out a couple of times in this game. Here's Asdrubal Cabrera. The Indians have won a season high 5 in a row on the road. And it's really kind of becoming strange to look at, but the Tigers at home this year are 500. They're 25 and 25.
Strange after the last few years here at Comerica Park.
They are 12 over on the road, so maybe that'll bode well for the next week when they go to Arizona and then Anaheim. Cabrera fouls it off. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fly ball to right field his first time up. Asdrubal is 0 for 1. And now 2 for 11 in this series against Tigers pitching. One and 2. Indians using this series as an opportunity to climb back into the race in the Central. They come in 4.5 out. They have leapfrogged Kansas City. Royals remain a 500 team. I don't know. I just can't figure out the Royals. I thought at this time of the season they'd be a little bit better than 500, but they're still only 6 back.
Every team in the division has certain issues. Of course, the Tigers have issues with their bullpen. And the Indians don't have much pop in the middle of their batting order, and their starting pitching hasn't been great. And every team has that same type of issue.
Really, I guess you could say that all around baseball. Smiley grabs another strikeout, his third.
He's done a nice job with that breaking ball today to the right-handers and the left-handers. He has not left many up. He's releasing it out in front, therefore getting some nice depth on that pitch, and he's bouncing most of them.
So now Michael Brantley, who flied out his first time up. 2 gone here in the 4th. Brantley played in his first All-Star game this year, and he said the one keepsake that he came back home with that he will treasure forever, an autographed baseball from Derek Jeter.
How about that?
He played in his final All-Star game. He also said, I approached Miggy as well and had him sign a ball for me. So he came away with a pretty good haul.
Yeah, those 2 guys are going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Ball low, 1 ball, 1 strike.
He probably has the simplest swing of anybody in the big leagues. Not a big stride. Hands are very quiet.
1 and 2. Well, that may be why he really isn't affected all that much by left-handed pitching. 274 against lefties.
It's pretty good. He's only had 1 hitting coach. That's his dad. That didn't go over very well when he started his career in Milwaukee, but the Indians have no problem with it. No one knows his swing better than his dad, and he talks to him every single day.
Of course, Michael's dad is not a regular dad. Mickey, his father, played in the major leagues, so he comes with a boatload of experience.
Even some dads that have played in the big leagues, coaches sometimes have a difficult time of accepting that that particular player really is not paying a whole lot of attention to what you're saying, but simply relying on dad, who's been there since Little League.
3-2 on Brantley. Well, he's blossomed into one of the better players in the game. There's Santana waiting on deck. Full count on Michael Brantley. Checked it for ball 4 high. That'll be a 2-out base runner. Second walk given up by Smiley. And now Carlos Santana, who has the other walk. That's in there, strike one. Isn't there a part of baseball, Rod, that would make you think that a guy that has walked as much as Santana has would have a higher batting average?
Yeah, because he's got some talent, but he just swings too big most of the time. And then when he has 2 strikes on him, he's got really good hand-eye coordination, but he just overswings with 2 strikes. Therefore, he strikes out a lot. But I do think the future is bright for Santana. I think he's got a bright future ahead of him.
Well, he had to deal with a knee injury early in his career and a collision at home plate when he was catching when he first got to the Indians. Concussion problems as well.
Smiley has 4 pickoffs this year. And that's one of the things that he's really concentrated on the last couple of years. Kenny Rogers, the former Tiger and a left-handed starter himself, really has tried to convince Drew Smiley that you got to keep your double play in order when you have a chance to, and you can't let guys just run at will against you. So he's paid a lot more attention to the base runners lately. A lot of times they go on first move with Smiley. That's the one thing they'd like for him to improve and quicken up. When he does go over to first base, they want him to be a little bit quicker.
And when Brantley runs, he's usually successful. 11 out of 12.
And really the only caught stealing was yesterday when he got picked off by Brian Holiday, but he elected to go to third base after he was picked off, so it went down as a caught stealing.
Here's the 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Carlos Santana. Tigers got a pair of runs in the first. They jumped on Tomlin quickly. Doubled by Jackson, single by Kinsler scored him, and later in the inning a sacrifice fly by Victor Martinez. High fly ball right field, playable. Torrey Hunter is under it, and that'll end the inning. No runs, a walk, 1 man left. To the bottom of the 4th we go. Arizona to take on the Diamondbacks. Our coverage begins at 8:30 with Tigers Live. Tigers Diamondbacks tomorrow at 8:30 right here on Fox Sports Detroit. What's going on with the Diamondbacks these days?
Well, they've got a couple of guys with a lot of power. Paul Goldsmith, he has a lot of pop in his bat. And Mark Trumbo, just reinstated from the disabled list, hasn't hit his stride yet, but a couple of really powerful right-handed bats.
You can see all those games on Fox Sports Detroit beginning tomorrow evening.
Goldsmith leads the majors in extra base hits since the beginning of the 2013 season with 131. All of baseball.
Here's Miguel Cabrera leading it off as we go to the bottom of the fourth. He skies one high in the air to deep center field. Brantley going back, and he's going to swallow this one up. One gone. Well, the matchups for the series look like this. Verlander and Nuno in game 1. Porcello Anderson game 2. Cahill for the Diamondbacks in game 3 facing Anibal. 3-game set there. Then it's on to Anaheim for a 4-game series. Here's Victor Martinez. Speaking of that series, Brad Austin is hinting today, not hinting, saying today that more than likely Miggy will play some third base in that series against the Diamondbacks. There's the ball low. That'll give him a chance to put Martinez at first base. Of course, no designated hitter over in National League ballparks. Got to be a little bit creative.
Yeah, Tigers really have not had to deal with this type of situation all that often this year, other than the very first week of the season when they went out west to play the Dodgers and the San Diego Padres, figuring out how to keep Victor Martinez's batting lineup.
Yeah, and the good thing is that Victor can catch every now and then, can play first base as he is today. Opportunity to keep his bat in the starting 9. He had a sacrifice fly his first time up. Tomlin hits the outside corner, 2-1.
There are a lot of teams in the American League that's really no issue when they go play teams in the National League, because there's really only a handful of guys that are everyday designated hitters. Just a few teams nowadays.
Here's the 2-1. 2-2.
Of course, Victor would fall into that category. David Ortiz of the Boston Red Sox falls into that category. But the DH now in the American League is used to give guys a day off and pick matchups, not your typical big guys that hit the ball into the seats.
That's fouled back out of play. Well, it does bring up the argument about interleague play and how it is a disadvantage for American League teams. I mean, it could have been a rough situation for the Tigers. They ended the season in Florida last year without the DH, and what if those games meant something? Obviously, unfortunately, the Tigers clinched before that.
Right.
But if they had gone to Florida without the DH, so I mean, interleague play has really kind of thrown a wrinkle into it, especially now that interleague play goes from the start to the end of the season. Victor fouls off another, 2-2. It's been a great year for Martinez. 55 RBIs. Power numbers way up this year. 21 homers at the break.
Miggy trying to fire Victor up. Let's see if Tomlin goes upstairs with a four-seam fastball.
Popped it up. Back into the seats, though.
That's what they've done a lot to Victor the last 3 days here. He's coming off of a 2-week stretch where he had not seen any live pitching whatsoever. So Gomes, the catcher, calls for the fastball upstairs. Victor able to get a piece of this one, but he's been swinging and missing at that exact same pitch the last couple of days.
There's a fly ball, shallow right field. Murphy is under it. Victor is out, 2 gone. Bring up J.D. Martinez. Meanwhile, Tomlin has settled in nicely after that bumpy first inning when he gave up a couple of runs. It was pretty good work as J.D. stands in. Martinez in the series now is 1 for 13. Fouled at home plate, 0-1. Tomlin last year spent most of the season rehabbing from Tommy John surgery. Began the year in the minor leagues this year and did some good work down at AAA. That's in there for a strike. 0-2. Martinez would not go fishing. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Should he reach, Torrey Hunter is waiting on deck. And the 1-2. Drilled back up the middle into center.
Good to see.
2-out single for J.D. Martinez. And it was a rocket.
J.D. Martinez, 1 for his last 13, had been leaving the strike zone, but he got a pretty good pitch to hit right there. It's a fastball that's down and away from him, and his approach was a simple one. Hit the ball right back through the center of the diamond. You can see how long his head stayed on that baseball.
Here's Torrey Hunter. Torrey struck out back in the second. Off the end of the bat, foul, 0-1. Here's the hitting log that J.D. Martinez keeps. Somebody
scribbling in it, or at least faking like they're writing in it.
Or dropping a bogus entry in there, one of the two.
Leave it to Miggy. It's like somebody picking up your computer.
Exactly. Man. You really shouldn't be messing with somebody else's book, should you?
Yeah. He might have something in there he don't want him to read either.
Oh, you see, he looks like he's drawing pictures. Yeah, he's not writing anything. He's drawing something.
No one has more fun than him. You just have to love the way that Miguel approaches baseball.
Here's the 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike on Torrey Hunter. J.D. Martinez aboard with a 2-out single. The Tigers have just picked up their 3rd hit of the game. The Indians in this contest have only had a couple of base runners, and they are both walks. Here's the 1-1. Hunter behind the count now, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Torrey swung at that same pitch his first time up, and he struck out on that breaking ball down and away from him.
Woo. That had a lot of drop. Tomlin, 29 years old, out of Tyler, Texas. At one point this year in the minor leagues, had a streak of 20 consecutive scoreless innings before the Indians called him up. Snap throw and the runner back. Still doodling. JD's not going to be too happy, is he? Book going to be all marked up.
If anybody can get away with it,
yeah,
Miguel Cabrera can get away with it.
Now, if Cabrera starts pulling out some crayons, then we know that we have a problem here. Torrey fouls off another straight back. 1-2, the count stays on Hunter. Tomlin allowed 2 in the first and had a 1-2-3 second. Got a double play in the third. Great look at the ballpark overhead. It is jam-packed today here in downtown Detroit. Driven to left field. Ball is hit well, and that ball is gone. It's a 2-out, 2-run shot for Torrey Hunter. And he got all of that one. A line drive home run to left.
Torrey Hunter may be 39 years old, but when you hang him a breaking ball, he absolutely kills those, and that's exactly what Tomlin did there. Nice little breaking ball that hung up there right around the belt buckle for Torrey Hunter.
Oh, and a barehanded play as well in the seats.
Look at the big fella there trying to take it from him.
Torrey's mantra, don't miss your breaking balls. He got another one and he crushed it.
Isn't that what Kirby Puckett told him?
Yep. He said, don't miss your breaking ball.
Those are your blessing. Little hanging breaking ball at about 75 miles an hour sitting on a tee.
4-0 Detroit. There's a strike on Castellanos. 0-2 on Nick. He bounced out his first time up. I got to give that dude some props in the outfield, man. He caught a line drive home run, then he had a big dude hanging on him trying to wrestle it away from him.
Didn't give it up.
A great play all the way around.
I guess they're buddies.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Or that's his bodyguard.
One of the two. JD is getting some attention. Just wait till he goes back to his book. Just wait.
He's going to pick it up soon.
Yeah, he is. So the count goes full now on Castellanos. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Avila waiting on deck. Fouled away. And Tomlin was looking like he was going to have himself an easy inning. Couple of quick fly ball outs, and then a single by Martinez, which was hit extremely hard back up the middle, and then the 2-run line drive home run by Torrey Hunter. Go check your book, JD. Here's the 3-2. Bouncing ball to short. Cabrera has it there. Castellanos out by a step, and that will end the 4th inning. Tigers get 2 more. Torrey Hunter hits number 13. 4-0 Tigers. to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. And by the new Chevrolet Silverado light duty and heavy duty lineup. Bit more of a comfortable lead now for the Tigers on a glorious day for baseball here in downtown Detroit. 4-0 in favor of the Tigers as Torrey Hunter hits a 2-run shot. Drew Smiley goes back to work facing Ryan Rayburn here. It'll be Rayburn, Swisher, and Gomes. Only 2 base runners so far in this ball game. For the Indians, both walks, one for Brantley and one for Santana. Here's the 1-0. Down the right field line, slicing away from Hunter. Torrey on the move, and he'll run it down.
Pretty good jump there by Torrey Hunter, who patrols right field these days. One of the best center fielders of his generation.
There's Swisher with 1 out. Tap foul down the third base line. Swisher hit into a double play after a walk in the second. 6-4-3 double play. And now he's behind in the count 0-2.
A couple of nice little breaking balls to get a hit ahead of Nick Swisher. 0-2.
Bouncing low, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Swisher has had 9 straight seasons of at least 20 home runs. He is sitting on 8 right now. Here's the 1-2. Again, in the dirt, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yan Gomes on deck. 1 gone here in the 5th. 4-0 Tigers. Time called now as Swisher steps out. Foul back. Indians trying to win their 6th consecutive road game. They've won the first 3 games in this series. Again, the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Swisher is out of there. Strikeout number 4 now for Drew. They catch every strikeout, every game ender, every history-making moment on Major League Baseball Whip Around. Weeknights at 10 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1. Streaming live on Fox Sports Go. MLB Whip Around.
And Smiley was able to get ahead of Nick Swisher. No balls and 2 strikes. Then he finished him off with the same pitch. That slow breaking ball that he got ahead of him with.
2-out chance now for Yan Gomes. Ball high to Gomes. .6-3 ground out his first time up. Before this year is done, Gomes will have played more games than any other season in the big leagues. Gomes last year played 88 games, and this is his 84th, the full-time catcher for the Indians.
Yeah, he played so well last year as a backup to Carlos Santana. They gave him a nice long contract and made him their everyday catcher.
Way high. 2-1 the count on Gomes. Played his college ball at Tennessee, where he was a teammate of J.P. Arancibia. That's lifted in the air toward right center field and hit well. Jackson on his horse, still looking up, and it's in the alley up against the wall. Extra bases. Gomes will pull into second with the Indians' first hit of this contest. So 4 2/3 of no-hit baseball for Smiley.
Gomes has 12 home runs. He's got a lot of power in that bat. And when he's able to extend his arms, he does major damage.
Gomes now has hit safely in 5 straight. That is his 14th double of the year. Here's David Murphy. In there for strike one.
Murphy does his best work for the Tribe when runners are in scoring position, batting .380. Otherwise hitting just .243 as a batting average this year for the newly acquired right fielder.
It's kind of strange. He leads the American League in that category. He'll bounce this one to first, fair ball, fielded by Cabrera, or Martinez rather. And covering is Smiley to win the inning. No runs, a double is stranded. Tigers baseball today presented by Bell Tire. Photo of the game. Tweet your photo to hashtag Detroit Fan Photo, and you'll have a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It is brought to you by AT&T. Well, the Tigers have a lead in this ball game of 4-0. Only one hit for the Indians so far in this contest. Alex Avila will stroll into the plate. It'll be Avila, Romine, and then Austin Jackson. Avila is 0 for 1 with a ground ball. Tomlin back to the hill after surrendering the 2-run homer to Torrey Hunter in the last inning. First pitch from Tomlin is low. 1 ball and no strikes. Avila is 1 double short of 100 for his major league career. Maybe he'll get it right here. That's in there for a strike. 1-1 the count. There is action. C.C. Lee warming up in the Cleveland bullpen. Out beyond the left field wall. Here's Tomlin's 1-1. Pulled fair. Knocked down at first by Santana. Pitcher covers. Tomlin gets there for the out.
Most of the time, if you're a manager, you'd like to have a guy that plays first base that fields the ball with the glove on the right hand. But in this particular situation, it helps if you've got a guy that has a glove on the left hand, as Santana does. Otherwise, that's a double down in the right field corner. And Tomlin got a late break and getting off the mound, but still able to beat Avila there.
Looked like he thought that ball was either going to be fouled or get by Santana. But he had enough time to get there. Here's Andrew Romine. Strike one on Romine. Andrew heading back to his old stomping grounds on the next road trip. Former Angel. Tigers heading to Anaheim later in the week. Really wouldn't get a whole lot of playing time there with Ibar, although Ibar has been nicked up lately.
Romine actually lives in Southern California as well.
No balls, 2 strikes. A little home cooking for Romine.
That's always a good thing.
Little number toward third base. Going to have to charge, and no play for Aviles. Romine probably beats that out anyway. Infield single.
And do or die play for Mike Aviles, who plays everywhere for Terry Francona. And right off the end of the bat, comes in not able to field it cleanly with a bare hand. Actually fielded it cleanly, but not able to get a handle on the throw.
Here's Jackson. Been on base twice in this game. Walk and a double, and he has scored a run. And he lines one to left. That's a base hit. Boy, Jackson just continues to get on base in this series. 3 more times today. 2 on and 1 out. Well, here comes Francona. See if that's it for Tomlin. They've had Lee warming up. A couple of base runners here in the 5th. Infield single, and then a base hit by Jackson, so they go to the bullpen. And that's going to be it for Josh Tomlin. Wallside Windows pitching change. We'll be back. Out of the ball game. They've knocked him out with a couple of singles. 4 1/3, 6 hits, 4 runs earned with 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. He is still responsible for the 2 men on the bases. And CC Lee has come on now.
He's got a pretty good fastball. He's got some nice arm side run to his fastball. He stands on the third base side of the rubber, which makes it easy from that arm slot. It's kind of a not sidearm, but low 3/4 arm slot. Real good depth on the sinker ball. He also has a slider, which acts more like a frisbee across the strike zone.
Here's Kinsler, and he looks at a ball high. He in 1 for 2, RBI single back in the first when the Tigers got 2 runs. And he slings that one outside. 2 balls and no strikes. CC Lee is from Taiwan. First appeared in the big leagues last year for the Indians. The CC stands for Chen Chang Lee. The 2-0 is outside. 3 balls, no strikes on Kinsler. Waiting on deck, Miguel Cabrera. Here's the 3-0. That's in there, 3-1. Tigers have 4 runs, 6 hits. Indians no runs, 1 hit. Romine not going anywhere. Romine got this started with an infield single. And then Jackson drilled one to left. That chased the starter Tomlin. Lee comes in. And he has fallen behind Kinsler. There go the runners. Here comes the throw down to third. It's off the glove of Aviles into left. But Romine diving in there is unable to get up and score.
Romine had a horrible jump from second base. And Yan Gomes threw a strike down to Aviles. Aviles was not able to handle it. Therefore, a stolen base for Romine, but he didn't get much of a jump at all.
Should have been out by a wide margin.
No doubt. And had Romine been able to locate that ball a little bit quicker, it would have been the 13th error of the season for their catcher, Yan Gomes.
So the Indians now will pull the infield in. It's a 3-2 count on Kinsler. Swing and a miss. Lee comes back to strike him out after falling behind 3-0. Bring up Miguel Cabrera.
I don't know what Terry Francona does here. CC Lee against Miguel Cabrera with a base open, and Victor not necessarily the last few days swinging the bat the way that he is capable of swinging the bat. Miggy batting .376 with runners in scoring position.
Ball 1. Well, Cabrera's got 2 guys in scoring position here. He's hit 14 home runs this year, but leads the league with 75 RBIs. On the outer edge, a strike, 1-1. Ran back into the strike zone.
Looks like Miggy's cheating a little bit with his front foot, looking for that sinker down and in. And he got that sinker down and in.
Lee had made 20 appearances in Columbus this year. Their AAA team, his ERA was over 4. Swing and a miss. He strikes out Cabrera to end the threat. So Lee comes out of the pen, picks up a couple of strikeouts. In this one, it's Christmas in July, by the way, at Comerica Park. July 29th, when the Tigers take on the Chicago White Sox at 7:08. You'll enjoy Christmas music and an appearance by, get this, Santa Paws. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Well, here come the Indians now as we go to the top of the sixth. Bruce Smiley has really done some good work today. No runs, one hit for Cleveland. That's it. Mike Aviles will lead it off. And there's a strike called 0-1.
He's been doing that quite frequently today. Yeah, first pitch strikes now 13 of 18 for the Tigers left-hander.
1 ball, 1 strike on Aviles, who popped up his only time. Aviles has been much better at home this year. 302 at Progressive Field, only 236 on the road.
I was looking at their team numbers overall. They have quite a few guys in that same category as Aviles. Better numbers at home, but they don't do all that well away from Progressive Field.
1-2, misses the outer edge. 2-2. There's Jason Kipnis. He'll get back out of play. Aviles, Kipnis, and Cabrera here in the 6th inning for the Indians. Another ball back out of play. When you look at the numbers, the Indians are much better at home. They are 29-19, 10 over the 500 mark at Progressive Field. Here they have not been able to get a whole lot going against Drew Smiley. Just 1 hit, the double by Gomes in the 5th. Bouncing ball left side, base hit. That is their 2nd hit of the game. Time for a game break now. Back to the studio with Lindsey Hayes. All right, Lindsey, thanks. Here it is 4-0. Tigers have the lead as we play in the 6th inning. Kipnis 0 for 2. He has put a couple of balls on the ground today, and Smiley would love to see him do it again. He's showing bunt. He drops it down beautifully. Third base side. Castellanos going to give it a shot, but no chance. That's a bunt single for Kipnis. 2 on, nobody out.
It's a nice job by Jason Kipnis. He made sure that he stayed in the batter's box long enough to place the bunt exactly where he wanted to place it, and then he ran. And because he laid down a perfect bunt, really no play for Castellanos.
That is just the 3rd hit of the day for the Indians. It's going to bring up Asdrubal Cabrera. That, by the way, is Kipnis' first hit off Drew Smyly.
Yeah, he was our Bernstein advantage guy today, wasn't he?
Right off the top of the broadcast. Yeah, he was not doing well against Smyly in his career. He is now just 1 for 13 against Smyly.
Avila did not like the location of that last breaking ball up in the strike zone by Smyly. He wants to make sure he continues to get it down as he had been through the first 5 innings of the game. Avila's also singled to left field on a breaking ball that was up in the strike zone. He's standing at second base right now.
Tigers today have out-hit the Indians 6-3. One and one on Asdrubal Cabrera. You got Michael Brantley waiting on deck.
Drew has not thrown many changeups today, but if he has confidence in that pitch, that might be the one that gets him that ground ball to the shortstop. If he gets it down and away from Cabrera.
One and two. Asdrubal in this game, strike out in his last at bat, fly out in his first at bat.
4-seam fastball right by Asdrubal.
Into the glove for strike 3. Got a piece of it, but right into Avila's glove, and a strikeout there for Smyly.
Here is our high-speed pitch brought to you by Xfinity. Top fastball of the afternoon so far, thrown by Drew Smyly, 93 miles an hour. He has thrown several breaking balls in that 74 mile per hour range.
5 strikeouts now for Drew. Brantley a walk and a fly ball. He skies this one in the air to center, straight at Jackson. It'll be an easy out. And there are 2 gone now with the runners holding.
That's 2 outs today that Brantley has made on the first pitch by Drew Smyly. He did it in his first at bat today in the first, and right there.
Those 1 pitch outs always help the pitch count, which right now stands at 85 for Smyly. Drew's strikeout high this year is 7. He's done that a couple of times. He has 5 right now. Santana digs in. Here's the ratio through 85 pitches. 55 strikes for Smyly. Ball 1. Santana walking a fly ball. Singles by Avilas and Kipnis. They started the inning, but now with 2 outs, they are still at first and second. Meanwhile, Santana has run the count in his favor. 2 balls and no strikes. Well, the walks that he is able to draw, Santana sees about 4.5 pitches per plate appearance, which is one of the best marks in the American League. Here's the 2-0. He'll swing and pop it up. Right side of the infield. Kinsler to the grass. And the inning is over. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. Richards were hooked up in a great one last night, and Felix Hernandez went 7, giving up 2 hits, no runs.
Could he be the leader in the clubhouse right now for the American League Cy Young?
I believe he is, to be honest with you. And the Mariners got an extra inning win. Troy Tulowitzki left last night's game with a cramp in his left thigh.
I saw that. It looked a lot worse than a cramp, but that's what they're calling it right now in Colorado.
And George Springer, man, he just continues to get it done. 20th home run. And he's been a really good young player for Houston. One of their top prospects. CC Lee goes back to work as we head to the bottom of the 6th, and Victor Martinez leads it off.
And Lee's got that fastball that will go anywhere from 88 to 92 miles an hour, but he's got a lot of late life on that pitch. Once it gets in the hitting zone, it is moving everywhere.
Victor to be followed by J.D. Martinez and then Torrey Hunter. And it's flared toward left field. On the move is Rayburn, still coming, stretching out, can't get it. Victor is on his way to second, and he will have a bloop double to left.
They play Victor to pull on the infield, and they shade him toward the left center field gap if you're the left fielder. Therefore, after he took that big swing, Rayburn didn't get a great break. And then he tried to recover and could not get there to make the play.
He did keep that ball from bouncing beyond him, though. And so Martinez pulls in with a double. Rayburn stretching out, selling out, but he just couldn't quite get there. Now J.D. Martinez. Ball inside, 1-0. .332 now for J.D. Singled sharply back up the middle with 2 outs in the 4th, and then came around on the 2-run shot by Torrey Hunter. Will foul back out of play, 1-1. Tigers now have their 7th hit of this contest.
And J.D. Martinez allowed that breaking ball to get about as deep as you'll allow one to get. But he's trying to hit that ball to right field. It's a nice approach by J.D. Martinez.
2-1. Tomlin started this game and was pulled in the 5th inning after back-to-back hits by the Tigers. Lee came on, struck out Kinsler and Cabrera.
Tomlin has not fared very well in a couple of starts that he's had against the Tigers this year.
Well, the Tigers have hit him pretty well.
He's given up 12 runs in 2 starts to the Tigers.
Tomlin earlier this year pitched one of the best ball games anybody has pitched in the major leagues. A 1-hit shutout of Seattle with 11 strikeouts.
Gave up 1 hit in the 5th inning in that game.
Now 3-1.
Ooh.
The first 2 Tigers reach. 2 on. Nobody out. Well, today USAA would like to pay special recognition to all of our service members at home and abroad. Tigers have something brewing now here in the 6th inning. 2 on, nobody out. Torrey Hunter stands in. We'll drive 1 foul, back out of play.
T. Hunter homered his last time up. He got a hanging breaking ball from their starter Josh Tomlin at about 77 miles an hour and hit an absolute seed into the left field seats. 13th home run of the year for Torrey Hunter.
Torrey's got 55 RBIs now. On pace to have another really solid season. And his July has been something to behold. 17 RBIs this month. Not to mention a .379 average.
Tigers outfielders the remainder of the way, especially the way that J.D. Martinez has come on. They'll be able to stay fresh.
Out of line to right field, straight at Murphy. 1 gone. That'll bring up Castellanos. A couple of ground balls in this game for Castellanos. There is more action now in the bullpen for the Cleveland Indians. That's the left-hander Kyle Crockett.
Yeah, Tigers have Avila in the on-deck circle. Castellanos loves to swing at the very first pitch, especially if you get it close with runners in scoring position.
That one was not close, though. It bounces away. 1 ball, no strikes. Nick this year has knocked in 34. Tigers would like to add to their 4-0 lead. They got 2 in the first, 2 in the fourth. And the 1-0. Checked it inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Martinez leading it off with a double. JD followed with a walk. Three and 0 now on Castellanos. Lee ends up walking this batter here. Probably going to bring in Crockett to face the lefty Avila, and he's going to have to come in with the bases loaded. Let's see what happens. Instead, it's a ground ball left side. Base hit. Martinez to third. They stop him there, and the bases are loaded. And Lee got himself a ground ball, but it found a hole. Going to bring up Avila. And it looks like Crockett's coming in as well. Here comes Terry Francona. And he signals for the left-hander. So the Tigers load him up here. Wall side windows pitching change. Kyle Crockett comes in. We'll be back. Nothing. They've got him loaded here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and with the lefty Avila coming up, Terry Francona goes to the bullpen.
In the 3rd inning so far, logged the ERA not bad at all, and just a shade over 2.
A native of Newport News, Virginia, played his college baseball at the University of Virginia. 4th round selection in the draft just 2 years ago. So here's Avila now. Martinez, and Castellanos on the bases. Avila, a couple of ground balls, 0 for 2. In there for strike 1. Crockett is the first member of the 2013 draft class to get to the big leagues. Had a great year in the minor leagues last season. Here's the 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Trying to put out the fire here in the 6th inning and keep this game manageable. There is more action now. Adams tuning up in the bullpen for the Indians, who've already used Lee and now Crockett.
If you're Avila, you want to stay on the baseball long enough, which would allow you to hit a fly ball to left field deep enough to score Victor Martinez. That's your approach here.
He'll get back out of play, 1-2. Victor got it started with a double. JD walked, Castellanos singled. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, and Avila goes down on strikes. Second out of the inning, first strikeout for Crockett. Here's Romine.
Tigers weren't very good yesterday. Really, they haven't been very good in the series, hitting with runners in scoring position.
Well, Romine will try and remedy that here with a 2-out at bat. Bases are loaded. And he shoots one foul back out of play.
Tigers 6 for 34 with runners in scoring position this series.
Yikes. The 0-1 is fouled away. No balls, 2 strikes. Here is Albuquerque warming up in the Detroit bullpen. Crockett has gotten ahead now of Andrew Romine. Strikeout infield single today for Andrew. And he strikes out swinging. So Crockett does the job, comes in with the bases loaded, gets a couple of punch outs.
So far today, Drew Smyly's had an outstanding breaking ball. He's been able to bury that pitch at the bottom of the strike zone. He's gone 15 of 22 in first pitch strikes, which has allowed him to expand the strike zone. Left-handers, well, they have not had much success all season against Drew Smyly. They came into this contest hitting just 157 against him, and he's been able to slow down their hottest left-handed hitter. That would be Michael Brantley.
6 innings of work in this one for Smyly. Only 3 hits, 5 strikeouts, and a couple of base on balls. So as we go to the 7th inning, it'll be Ryan Rayburn to lead it off. Rayburn to be followed by Swisher, and then Yan Gomes. Tigers have 4 runs, 8 hits. Indians no runs on 3 hits. Rayburn looks at strike 1. Ryan in this ball game a strikeout. He flew out to right field back in the 5th inning. Parts of 7 years with the Tigers. And probably his best year was the 2010 campaign. Hit 280 that year, 15 home runs. Now the 1-1. Bouncer to first base, gobbled up there by Victor. And now Rayburn is 0 for 3, 1 gone here in the 7th. There's Swisher. A tough day for Swisher. Double play ball and a strikeout. That's on the outer edge, a strike. 0-1 the count. Now he's gotten ahead 0-2. Swisher. Not so sure about that last call. A little silent protest from Mark Carlson. Drew working quickly. The 0-2. Ooh. Smiley thought he had it.
Swisher up there sitting on a breaking ball. He's been sitting on a breaking ball for the first 3 pitches of this at bat. Drew hasn't given him one yet.
Two and two.
More than likely he'll get one here.
Missed high. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Drew now with 96 pitches. He threw 112 in his last start against the Royals, and that was the most he had thrown all season. Bouncing ball to short. To his right, Romine. Swisher now is 0 for 3. 2 up, 2 down here in the 7th. Tigers almost assuredly this year will keep a very close eye on the workload for Smiley, considering the fact that he pitched out of the bullpen last year. But once he gets around 100 pitches or so, doesn't go much beyond that. The 112 notwithstanding his last time out.
At 112 was a career high for Drew Smiley.
Here's Yan Gomes, double and a ground out. That's fouled back out of play. 0-1. Gomes now 5-game hitting streak. He's hit left-handed pitching pretty well this year. 348 coming in.
That was a better pitch by Smiley. Crowded him a little bit. Gomes is one of those dangerous guys that once he extends those arms, and he does a lot of work, a lot of power damage.
12 home runs this year for Gomes. Here's a high drive into left field.
He extended those arms.
And it's 13 home runs for Gomes. And the Indians are on the board with a 2-out solo shot from Yan Gomes.
Smiley has not thrown many changeups today. He's thrown a lot of breaking balls. But here's a changeup to a guy that's got a lot of pop in his bat, Gomes, and Gomes didn't miss it. Here's a changeup grip. Didn't finish the pitch. It stayed up. And Gomes has had a monster series.
The Indians lead the majors with 22 home runs now in the month of July. That is their first run of the game. Murphy with a swing and a miss. .100 now for Smiley. Here they are by inning. Strike called. Quickly 0-2. So the Indians again get another run from the 7th inning and later. It's 161 now, which is most of the majors. They've spread around their home runs as well. Checked it low and away, did not go. 1-2 the count on Murphy. Strikeout and a ground out for David Murphy. Swing and a miss. He got him to go fishing. 1 run on 1 hit. The Gomes homer. 6 strikeouts for Smiley coming up. The Health Plus 7th inning stretch. A 4-1 lead here against the Cleveland Indians. Torrey Hunter, 2-run shot. He's got 17 RBIs now in the month of July. Austin Jackson, multiple hits in 8 of his last 9 games. He's been red hot. Drew Smyly doing some good work today. 6 strikeouts in 7 innings. Smyly all smiles, and he should be with his outing here this afternoon. Hey, by the way, Friday, August 8th, you can swing for the fences during Tigers fantasy batting practice. Spend over 3 hours shagging fly balls, playing catch, and hitting pitches thrown by a former Tiger. Call 313-471-2550 or visit tigers.com. Having a good time at the ballpark today. Another packed house here in downtown Detroit. Paul's got some moves, doesn't he?
Always.
Tigers jumped out to the lead early with 2 runs in the first and 2 in the fourth. And we've got a new pitcher now. Austin Adams will come on for the Cleveland Indians after Crockett came on in the 6th inning, struck out a pair with the bases loaded.
AAA numbers for Adams this year pretty good. 35 strikeouts, 8 base on balls, 30 games in the minors for Austin. Here is the Call Sam call of the game, and we're going to give it to Brad Ausmus. He's continued to keep Austin Jackson in that leadoff spot the entire month of July, and Jackson really has showed up in this particular series. 6 for 13 with 3 extra base hits, 3 runs, and 3 base on balls.
Austin Jackson faces Austin Adams as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Jackson, Kinsler, and Cabrera, and the first pitch is in for strike 1.
Straight over the top, easy gas thrown there by Austin Adams at 97 miles an hour.
Stands 5'11". He is out of Millbrook, Alabama. Had some shoulder surgery in 2012. Caused him to miss the entire season.
They tightened it up pretty good.
Here's the 1-1. He'll get back out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jabba Chamberlain warming up in the Detroit bullpen. He'll come on in the 8th.
Usually guys that have shoulder ailments that cause them to miss an entire year, they don't rediscover their fastballs. But no issue here with Adams.
The 1-2. Chopper to the shortstop. Cabrera to his left. Jackson retired.
Tommy John surgery to the elbow, usually no issue. Most of those guys that have that surgery, they come back throwing the fastballs that they had prior to having the surgery, but shoulders are a little bit trickier.
Yeah, that surgery was back in 2012. He returned last year and posted a 2.62 ERA in 45 minor league appearances. That was at Double-A. As you look at the Tiger box score, Tigers have rolled up 8 hits today. Kinsler swinging on the first pitch, sends one to right field, routine for Murphy. 2 quick outs. Now Miguel Cabrera. Couple of fly balls to center for Miguel. He struck out against Lee back in the 5th inning. It's in there for a strike.
That's a hard curveball. 87.
He was a 5th round pick out of college back in 2009, and a swing and a miss. 0-2 now on Miggy, who's upset with himself.
Yeah, you don't usually see Miggy swing at balls that bounce. But he's trying to get geared up for that 98 mile per hour fastball that Adams has.
He's only 5'11", 200-pounder. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss, and Adams comes out of the bullpen and makes quick work of the Tigers in the 7th, which means we go to the 8th, and here comes Java. Brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. By your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. By Wallside Windows, the official window company of Fox Sports Detroit. And by AT&T, mobilizing your world. Well, the Tigers have themselves a 4-1 lead as we go to the top of the 8th inning on a great afternoon for baseball here in the Motor City. The Tigers wrapping up this homestand, and they're on the road beginning tomorrow night in Arizona. They're playing to a packed house today, and so far so good. Tigers now, as we go to the 8th, will bring Jabba Chamberlain into the game.
And Jabba Chamberlain pitched in yesterday's game. He pitched the 8th inning. He needed only 6 pitches to retire the Cleveland Indians. Overall this year, Jabba's had a fantastic season. His numbers would validate that.
Chamberlain has been scoreless in relief in 12 of his last 13 outings. And that beard is getting longer and longer, isn't it?
He said that he's not going to shave it until someone tells him to. And I'd like to see the person that tells him to shave it.
Why don't you go in there and do that?
I'm not messing with Jabba.
Chisenhall is going to bat here for Mike Aviles.
Well, when you go up against the Cleveland Indians and you've got a left-handed starter, and it's guys like Chisenhall and a couple of other left-handers that simply usually get the day off, so they're not at their best against left-handed pitching.
Chisenhall, then Kipnis and Cabrera facing Jabba Chamberlain here in the 8th inning. And the first one is up, 1 ball and no strikes on Chisenhall.
Against right-handed pitchers, Terry Francona could run 8 left-handed bats out there going along with his 3 switch hitters. You would think that they would probably try to balance that out the next couple of weeks if they still find themselves in this race.
No doubt.
In the American League Central, just like the Tigers need some bullpen help. And possibly the Tigers could use another left-handed bat.
1-1 on Chisenhall, batting .327, 9 home runs, and he looks at a ball inside. 2-1. His on-base percentage has been high all season, .397 right now for Chisenhall, who grabbed the third base position after it was handed to Santana early in the year. There's a strike.
He said he got his best advice in spring training. He got it from the veteran Jason Giambi, who's on the disabled list right now with the Tribe. He told him Santana is going to be the third baseman. It doesn't matter what you do in spring training. You need to get ready for that. But the one thing you can control is when you get an opportunity is how you prepare for that opportunity and he has gotten some chances, and he's having his best offensive season.
He's gone 3-2 now.
There are some things that happen in this game you just cannot control, and really in life in general, there are some things you just can't control.
Popped up left side of the infield. Romine calling on the grass. 1 out. Well, the only thing in this game you can control is your effort.
You got that right.
Here's Kipnis. A couple of ground balls and a bunt single for Kipnis. .259 average now for the Indians leadoff man for this game today. Ball 1. Tigers have doubled up the hit column. 8 Tigers hits, only 4 for Cleveland all day. Smiley was outstanding. Two and on the count.
We have talked a lot about the fact that Dave Dombrowski made that deal with the Rangers to bring Ian Kinsler in and how well Kinsler has done. But we haven't talked about the signing of Jabba Chamberlain that much. He has really solidified that 8th inning for the Tigers, and where would they be without Jabba this year?
Well, he stepped up early too in this season and grabbed the 8th inning, because really the Tigers were kind of uncertain, especially when Rondon went down in spring training.
And when they signed Jabba, they knew that he would pitch in the 6th or the 7th. But they anticipated Rondon would be the 8th inning guy, but Jabba Chamberlain's gone out and had a spectacular season.
Well, he has walked Kipnis. 1 on 1 out. He's going to bring up Asdrubal Cabrera. Chamberlain came into this game having allowed 1 earned run since June 13th, and that covered better than 11 innings. Cabrera showing bunt, looks at a ball high. Now, Asdrubal in this game has fanned a couple of times. He has flied out as well. And you look at his career numbers, not a big sampling, but 0 for 5 versus Chamberlain.
He has also grounded into 11 double plays this year, which leads their team.
In there, a strike, 1-1.
Yeah, a little get me over breaking ball, curveball at 81 miles an hour thrown by Jabba Chamberlain. Rolled off the fingertips very nicely. You can get away with that particular pitch on the first or second pitch of an at-bat.
Might have gotten the benefit of the strike zone that time. The upper reaches of the strike zone. Only run today for the Indians, courtesy of the home run by Gomes in the 7th. Tigers have a homer of their own. Torrey Hunter hit a 2-run shot. That was back in the 4th. That's pulled foul. 1-2. Should the Tigers win this game, they would go back up 5.5 on the Indians in the Central. Michael Brantley waiting on deck. Ooh, just off the plate. The crowd wanted it. So did Jabba. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Cabrera took this last fastball like he was looking for an off-speed pitch.
Clearly outside, though. Runner going, and it's fouled back out of play. We do have a sellout crowd officially today, 41,736, jam-packed into Comerica Park here this afternoon.
Tigers have a legitimate shot of reaching 3 million fans again here at Comerica Park. It's a lot of people.
And a good portion of the summer still remaining. 2-2. Again, the runner goes. In time for the out at second base. Boy, Avila came up gunning.
They're going to question that one, I think.
And Francona coming to the top step. And we'll see if this stands. Francona is either going to get the thumbs up or the thumbs down. And apparently he got the thumbs up. There's a better look. Well, if he actually did tag him, then he should be out. Here we go. Yep.
Yeah, he's out.
He's out. Oh, they're going to challenge it.
I don't think they saw that second and third look that we just saw before they decided to challenge.
Or maybe they feel, you know what, let's just challenge it, and who knows. But that last look we had clearly indicated that he was out.
Yeah, his foot was still in the air when the tag was applied by Ian.
This is the best look right here. Out. The crowd now is responding to the replay being shown on the big board. Out at second base. They lose the challenge. And the definitive look right here.
It's a gamble they're running 2-2, especially getting thrown out. And now if Jabba able to retire Cabrera here, that means Michael Brantley, their best hitter, is left standing in that on-deck circle.
And he lost him. Second walk in the inning. This one comes with 2 outs. That replay took less than a minute, 57 seconds. So that was one of the quicker ones.
Very unusual to see Jabba walk a couple of batters in an inning. He hasn't walked that many overall this season. They've done a nice job against Brantley the last couple of days. They've really been crowding him with fastballs inside. They've either forced him into grounding out to the right side of the infield or flying out harmlessly to the outfielders because they've crowded him inside.
Phil Cope tuning up. And a ball outside to Brantley. A couple of flyouts and a walk in this game for Brantley, who came in 7 for 14 in the series.
So far, 16 of the 21 runs that have been scored by the Tribe in the 4-game series have come 7th inning or later. They haven't done much at the beginning of the game, but the last 9 outs, they've been very productive.
Strike called on the outside corner. Brantley spins out of the box, not so sure as he has a conversation with Mark Carlson. And that's why. Looked to touch outside on Mr. Fox tracks. Brantley really upset now. Same spot as he walks out of the box.
Well, if you're Java and you're Avila, and go right back out there again.
Again, a touch off the plate. But Java given the benefit of the doubt there. Bouncing ball to short. Romine will go to second for the force. Chamberlain gets it done despite a couple of walks here in the 8th. We'll go to the bottom half. In favor of the Tigers in this one, and fans, you can follow every Tigers game with MLB.com at bats on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replays, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv game of the day, and a whole lot more. Download in the App Store or visit Tigers.com. Sellout crowd today at the ballpark, and they are enjoying a 4-1 Tigers lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It'll be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters, Victor, JD, and then Torrey Hunter. Lonnie Chisenhall stays in the game, and he'll play third base. He pinch hit for Aviles. Here's a bouncing ball hit to the right side in the backhand. Santana waits for his pitcher to cover. One gone. Bring up JD Martinez. JD has been on base twice in this game, single and a walk. Fouled back out of play 0-1.
Kind of digging JD's walk-up music. Every damn hustler. He had to hustle to get that starting lineup too, and continues to hustle.
What do they say in baseball? It's hard enough to get there, but it's harder to stay there.
No doubt.
And that goes for winning a spot on the lineup as well.
No question about that.
Ball high, 1 ball, 1 strike.
I am living proof of that. Got to the big leagues on 3 separate occasions, but didn't have a lot of longevity.
Ball high, 2 balls, 1 strike.
But I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
How many years in the minors for you?
Oh, too many.
You just
12 at least. At least 12, yeah. I spent a lot of time in AAA.
Now the 2-1. Drill to left field. And going to be caught on the run by Rayburn. 2 gone. Check in now with Justin White, a preview of today's Tigers Live.
Yeah, Mario, coming up right after the game, it's Tigers Live post-game. You'll hear from Brad Ausmus as always, and we'll chat with Drew Smiley about his stellar performance this afternoon, and we'll also catch up with Torrey Hunter. He hit a big home run today. Lindsey Hayes and Craig Monroe in the Coliseum Studios. Tigers Live right after the game here on Fox Sports Detroit. Guys, back to you.
All right, Justin, we look forward to it. And now with 2 outs, here is Torrey Hunter. Tigers have a 4-1 lead here in the bottom of the 8th, and Hunter looks at a ball high, 1-0. Torrey, a 2-run shot back in the 4th. 13 long balls so far in the year for Torrey. Foul back out of play. In the Tigers bullpen, Joe Nathan is warming up.
Nathan had a rough outing yesterday. He threw 26 pitches, but he is going to come in and try to save this one for the Tigers this afternoon.
Now the 1-1. Little high. 2 balls, 1 strike on Hunter. Nathan in the 9th inning will have Santana, Rayburn, and Swisher due up. Two and 2 on Torrey.
Torrey also going back to his old stomping ground. Spent about 5 years playing outfield for the Los Angeles Angels. And boy, was he a fan favorite out there. Well, he's really a fan favorite everywhere he goes.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
There are very few guys in the game that when people comment on them or when people talk about them, very few that are like Torrey Hunter, where no one really has a bad thing to say about him. Literally, no one.
3-2 pitch is low. He walked it.
Somewhere along the line, you've done something to somebody which would cause them to not say nice things about you, but that's not the case with the Tigers right fielder, Torrey Hunter.
And he is aboard now with 2 outs for Nick Castellanos. More action in the Indians bullpen. Mark Zepchinski.
Spell it.
R.Z. Epchinski. I don't think he even got the R.Z. right, is he? That's one of the toughest names.
You can't. I can't spell it. I only did that to you because you did it to me.
Yep. Yeah, it is R.Z. R.Z.E.P. C.Z.Y.N.S.K.I. Oh, my goodness. Two outs, runner at first base. Castellanos a single in his last at bat. Drills this one to right center field. That ball is hit well, and that ball is up against the wall. We'll get another run in. Hunter coming around. He will score. It's a double and an RBI for Nick Castellanos.
We brought this up the last time that Castellanos was up. If you give him a fastball on the first pitch, he's going to take a pretty good swing at it. And to hit a ball that far in that direction gives you an idea of the power that Castellanos is developing in his bat. You can look for him in the next few years to get 20, 25 home runs.
Nearly hit that one out. And it'll be his 23rd double of the year. So the Tigers up 4 now. And we've got another pitching change, it appears. Terry Francona will take the baseball. We will step aside. Nick Castellanos has given the Tigers an extra run. Rick Porcello making his way out to the bullpen. Interesting. Meanwhile, making his way out to the mound is left-hander Mark Zepchinski.
Well, if you're Alex Avila, you can sit on the slider. One of the first couple of pitches from Zepchinski, he throws 43% of his pitches are sliders to left-handers. The only thing that I could think of Porcello going down to that bullpen today is the fact that Nathan struggles. Porcello will be the one that comes in.
Yeah. It looks like he's just loosening up right now. Porcello is getting that right arm loose. I might recall yesterday when Max was kind of doubtful after warming up at the bullpen with that neck issue. It was Porcello that they sent back out to the bullpen.
And they took a shot at the Tigers bullpen about the 5th or 6th inning, and Porcello was still sitting out there.
Here is Avila now. The Tigers get another run. They lead by 4. And he backs him out of there. 1 ball, no strikes.
Porcello is due to start Tuesday in Arizona. Did this surprise you at all that with 12 wins that Porcello hasn't gotten the ball yet in the second half?
Guess I never thought about it, but you know, I mean, there's so many options in this rotation. But yeah, I guess it is kind of surprising for a 12-game winner. Fly ball to left will end the inning, which means we go to the 9th. Here comes Nathan. For the Indians as we go to the top of the 9th inning.
Last night, rough outing for Joe Nathan. There's no question about that. He entered the game. It was a tie game, and 1 ball to left field. Jackson was not able to make it, and then things just continued to unravel there for Joe Nathan. Finally, with the bases loaded after they walked Michael and Brantley intentionally, a fastball down the middle to Santana. Santana cleared the bases. So Joe just continues to struggle a little bit here, his first year with the Tigers.
Well, this is not a save opportunity with a 4-run lead, but he's coming in nonetheless. 1 inning, 2 hits, 3 runs in the ball game last night. 26 pitches thrown by Joe Nathan.
Well, they're doing everything possible to get him sorted out.
Meanwhile, Rick Porcello, in case some emergency help is needed, is warming up. Carlos Santana leads it off as we go to the 9th inning. 5-1 Detroit. First pitch grounded to first base. Nice. 1 gone.
Very nice. Through July 20th last year, Joe Nathan had only blown one save with the Texas Rangers, and his ERA was 1.36. That's the Joe Nathan the Tigers signed, and they're hoping that at some point in time this year, those numbers can start to get a little bit better for their closer.
Chris Dickerson will bat. And he looks at a strike.
Career day yesterday for Dickerson, who had no success whatsoever against Max Scherzer, but a couple of solo shots for Chris.
Career day, all right. He had some nice swings in yesterday's game.
He said he was sitting on off-speed pitches, and he got the off-speed pitches that he was looking for, and he didn't miss them yesterday.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. 1-2 on Dickerson. Acquired from the Pirates on July the 7th. Player to be named later, and some cash. Here's the 1-2. Checked it up high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Dickerson, mostly with their AAA team with the Pirates in Indianapolis, was hitting .309. 7 home runs, 30 RBIs. Was having a good year down at AAA. Fouled off.
Here's the 2 pitches that Dickerson got yesterday in the nightcap. One's a breaking ball, one's a changeup. And he put a real good swing on both of them.
Both those pitchers had one thing in common, didn't they?
Yes, indeed.
Hanging, very hittable. Swing and a miss. Not this time. Dickerson is out, and Nathan gets a strikeout. Two up, 2 down. Nick Swisher is the Indians' last chance. Castellanos has moved over to the right side. Crowd coming to its feet now, as the Tigers are 1 out away from a victory here today. In there for a strike, 0-1. Now the 0-1. That's in the air to center field. Jackson is there and knuckles on him, but he stays well. The Tigers win it.
Nice clean inning there by Joe Nathan.
Much needed clean inning. A 1-2-3-9. And the Tigers avoid the sweep as they celebrate a victory here today at Comerica Park. The final score 5-1 Detroit. We'll be back.